Long ago, before roads cut through the forests and before iron bridges crossed the waters, there was a village that lived in awe of the great river. This river was no ordinary stream. It gave fish in abundance, quenched thirst in the dry season, and carried canoes to distant markets. But the people never forgot one truth: the river had a spirit of its own. It blessed the humble, but it could also take without warning. The elders said, "Water has no enemy, but water is not a friend to the careless." In this village lived a girl named Amara. She was the daughter of a poor farmer and his wife, yet her name was known far and wide. Amara was beautiful, not just in face but in spirit. She helped the old without being asked, she shared her food with children who had none, and when she laughed, even those with heavy hearts found themselves smiling. But beauty and kindness do not always protect a person. Sometimes, they draw both envy and fate. From the day she could walk, Amara was warned by her mother, "Do not wander near the river at night. If you hear drums from the water, do not listen. If a voice calls your name, do not answer. For the river chooses its own, and those it claims are never seen again." Amara listened, but as the years passed, the warnings became like distant thunder, heard but not feared. She fetched water like every other girl, washed clothes by the river like every other woman, and laughed with her friends as they splashed one another. Life went on, simple and steady. Until the evening everything changed. It was just before nightfall. The sun had melted into red and gold, the kind of sky that makes a person stop and stare. Amara carried her calabash to fetch water. The path was quiet, except for the hum of crickets and the rustle of leaves. She bent down, dipped her calabash, and then she heard it, the sound of drums. At first she thought it was from the village square. But no, these drums were deeper, slower, echoing as if they rose from the bottom of the river itself. Amara froze. The hair on her arms stood. She remembered her mother's warning, yet her feet would not carry her away. The water rippled, and then she saw him. A man stood on the bank where no man had been before. His skin shone like polished bronze, his eyes glimmered with a strange light, and though his lips curved in a smile, it was not the smile of an ordinary man. "Amara," he said. Her calabash slipped from her hands into the water. Her chest tightened. She had not spoken her name, yet he knew it. "The river has been waiting for you." Amara stumbled back, but her body refused to run. "Who are you?" she whispered. The man tilted his head. "I am the son of this river. The one your mothers and fathers speak of in hushed voices. The one they fear. But I am no enemy to you, Amara. You are chosen." And before she could reply, the drums stopped, the ripples stilled, and the man was gone. Amara ran home, her heart beating like a drum inside her chest. When she told her mother, the woman covered her mouth and wept. She knew the old stories. Once in a generation, the river spirit claimed a bride. And that bride was never returned. From that night, Amara was no longer at peace. When she walked to the farms, she felt eyes following her from the streams. When she tried to sleep, dreams of water pulled her under. And always, in those dreams, the same man appeared, his face half gentle, half frightening, always calling her name. Her friends noticed she had grown quiet. The village began to whisper. And then one night, as the moon rose full and silver, Amara heard the drums again. This time, they did not come from outside. They came from inside her chest. She rose from her bed, walked barefoot through the sleeping village, and returned to the river. He was waiting. "Amara," he said softly, "why do you fear me? I offer you more than this village ever can. Riches, beauty beyond measure, power over life and death. You will be queen beneath the waters." Amara trembled. "I belong to my people. I belong to my mother and father. I do not belong to you." The man's smile faded. For a moment, his form flickered. His lower body shimmered, and she saw it, a serpent's coils, scales glistening in the moonlight. Amara gasped, stumbling back. "You are mine already," he whispered, before vanishing into the water. When Amara returned home, she looked at her reflection in a bowl of water. Her breath caught. Just below her collarbone, faint but clear, was the mark of a scale. It glimmered when the moonlight touched it. The next day, her mother saw it as she bathed her. The woman cried out in sorrow. Neighbors gathered, and soon the entire village knew, Amara was marked by the serpent. Some pitied her. Others feared her. Mothers pulled their children away. Young men who once sought her hand now avoided her gaze. And among her friends, envy turned to scorn. One girl, Nina, who had always been jealous of Amara's beauty, muttered, "Now the river will take her. And perhaps we shall finally have peace." But Amara was not taken yet. The serpent came again and again, always at night, always calling her to follow him. She refused, but each refusal made his visit stronger. The river grew restless. Fishers returned empty-handed. Nets tore. Crops withered. The elders shook their heads. The spirit is angry. Until the girl is given, the river will not rest. Her father begged the elders for help. They sent for the diviner, an old man with eyes clouded like smoke. He listened, then spoke. "The serpent prince has chosen Amara. This is not the first time, nor will it be the last. But know this, she has a choice. She may surrender to the river and live as its queen, or she may face it with courage. Only courage can break the bond." The village was divided. Some said, "Let her go, so the river will bless us again." Others said, "She is our daughter. We cannot give her to the waters." And so the days passed, heavy with tension. Amara walked the village like one living between two worlds, half in the land of the living, half already claimed by the river. Then came the New Yam festival. Drums thundered, dancers spun, children laughed, and fires lit the night. But Amara could not enjoy it. For even above the noise, she heard the deeper drums, the ones that came from beneath the earth, from the belly of the river. She slipped away from the celebration and found herself once more by the water's edge. He rose before her, taller, more fearsome than ever. His human form melted away until what stood before her was a towering serpent, scales glowing like emeralds, eyes like fire, tongue flicking in the night air. "Amara," he hissed, "the time has come. Come with me, or your people will suffer." Amara trembled, but she did not step forward. "No," she said, her voice shaking but firm. "I am not yours." The serpent laughed, the sound echoing across the river like thunder. His coils crashed against the shore, sending waves high into the air. Villagers came running, but when they saw the serpent, they fell to their knees in fear. The elders raised their staffs, chanting prayers, calling on the ancestors. But the serpent was strong. He struck at them, scattering them like dry leaves. Amara fell to the ground, her hands clutching the sand. She remembered the diviner's words, "Only courage can break the bond." With trembling hands, she seized a calabash that had been used for the festival offering. It still carried palm wine, blessed by the elders. She lifted it high and cried out, "If I am yours, then drink with me." And she smashed it upon the serpent's head. The liquid burned like fire. The serpent shrieked, twisting, writhing, his coils thrashing against the water. Lightning cracked across the sky, thunder roared, and the river rose in fury. But the mark on Amara's chest began to fade, fading until it was gone. The serpent let out one final cry, a sound so deep the ground shook, and then he plunged into the river. The waters churned, then stilled. Silence fell. When Amara opened her eyes, the villagers were around her, staring in awe. The elders lifted their voices in thanks. Her mother wept, holding her tightly. The serpent prince was gone, his power broken. But the river remained. Calm, endless, mysterious. From that day, Amara was no longer feared. She was honored. Songs were sung of her courage, of the girl who faced the serpent and lived. But Amara herself never forgot the feel of those eyes upon her, nor the sound of drums in her chest. And sometimes, on nights when the moon was full and the river shone silver, she thought she saw ripples, as if something stirred deep beneath. The elders ended the tale with a lesson: he who fears the water will never cross, but he who crosses without respect will drown. Courage is not the absence of fear, but the strength to stand even when fear surrounds you. And so, children, remember this: when you hear drums in the dark, ask yourself, are they calling you to glory, or to danger? Only wisdom can tell the difference.